Welcome to the Old Brother Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith.
Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Whatever it is today.
Yeah, by the time people are hearing this, it'll be December.
It'll be post-Thanksgiving.
But it is Thanksgiving right now. So we're doing a little early recording for our kicking off our December to round out our kind of holiday-themed months. You know,
I got like a house full of family and friends.
I know, you got to get back to the crescent rolls.
Got to get back to that party. My wife is gonna kill me.
You know, I can't think of a better way to kick December off with,
a holiday classic.
Then this holiday classic, a feel-good movie of the year, The Fatman, starring
Fatman
Mel Gibson and Walton Goggins. Ho ho, holy shit. Is maybe the title of this episode. So this movie just came out a couple weeks ago, and it's already
actually just came out yesterday.
No. Well, video on demand. I'm saying it hit the theaters limitedly.
Oh, I didn't even know it hit the theaters.
Yeah. Couple weeks ago it did. Yeah, it came out a couple weeks ago.
How many theaters? Any idea?
Very limited.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the take was really low.
I would expect.
So, but then, like you said, it just now came out on video on demand and digital downloads. So,
although when you watch the trailer, you really don't see what you're in for.
No, I got the. I thought that was appropriate. Can you see? You'll shoot your eye out, kid. I'm wearing one of my many.
Oh, okay. I couldn't make out the face of a Christmas Carol.
Ralphie, yeah. One of my I have like 9 of these different shirts.
Yeah.
So you
met Ralphie.
I did meet Ralphie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. Many years ago. Nice. Peter Billingsley. Nice guy. So, but you're right. This is, what is this? This gotta be rated R.
Oh, definitely.
Gotta be
most definitely.
R. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking we should have done this as part of our horror fest.
I thought the same thing, the exact same thing. I was going to say that. And what genre would you call this exactly?
Well, it would be considered dark comedy, black comedy. That's how if you want to get technical about it.
Yeah, I mean, there just wasn't a lot of chuckles there.
No,
I mean, I laughed a couple times, but
yeah,
I'm sure I was supposed to.
It's definitely dark. I mean, overall, I liked it. I had the only real issue I had with it, and this is one where we're not going to give away details for those that might want to see this, because I would recommend people seeing it just with the warning that this is not like, Jingle All the Way or something.
Yeah, why don't you give us the synopsis? Because it does a good job in the trailer of giving you a synopsis of what the movie is.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Fatman is Santa Claus.
Fatman is Santa Claus, played by Mel Gibson. And, Christmas spirit is waning, business is slumping. And so he goes into business with the government, with the military, which
we find out he's in business with already, because he gets a paycheck for being Santa Claus. Santa doesn't do this gig for free.
Right. It's a business.
So it's a business, and they're cutting his pay because he's not pumping out as many toys.
Right. And he's not crazy about this proposal, but he and his significant other, Ruth Kringle, are, they're desperate. They need the money. So they make this deal with the military, and to have the elves, his workers, built what are they, building parts for fighter jets?
Something like that. They're not real specific on that.
So that's one piece of the story. Then you have like a couple of other threads where there's this 12-year-old kid who's
spoiled,
aptly named by Walton Goggins character as little shit when he comes up on his phone calling him.
Yeah, right.
Because this kid,
he calls him a couple other things too.
Right from the jump, I didn't like this kid, which was the whole point. But so
right.
this kid gets a lump of coal for Christmas, and he ends up hiring Walton Goggins, who is this maniacal assassin,
super hitman.
Yeah, he hires him to take out the Fat Man, and
Santa.
Therein lies the journey.
Right. So that's the overall,
that's the
premise of the whole thing.
Right.
And it's actually quite clever in the way it's kind of set up. You know, they don't come right out and, you know, tell you everything, but it leaks out. You know, Santa goes to the post office. Hey, Chris, how you doing? You know, are you talking about Mr. Kringle? Yeah, Mr. Kringle.
Yeah, I mean, it's Santa right from the beginning. I don't think that's a mystery. He's got Gibson's got a beard down to his button.
And it's starting to gray, and
and he's he's not
not very jolly, this Santa.
He's not. Yeah, well, again, business is slumping, and
right. So that's why. So it opens up. He's kind of grouchy, and not the most jolly time of year for Santa, because he just got a cut and pay, and now they have to make this deal to make up the pay. And as it starts to get into the picture, he starts to get a little jollier, I would say.
And again, all the while you've got Walter Goggins on a quest, to track him down, and
because nobody knows where Santa lives.
Right.
So he has, he calls 411. Yeah, I'm looking for the Fat Man. Excuse me, sir? The Fat Man, Kringle, Kris Kringle. Hello? Click. Hello?
Yeah.
That's the kind of, that's what he's met with. So it's hard to track down Santa. And then he gets a tip, basically, where he kind of, threaten somebody into telling him where he is.
Yeah, he finds him. And then there's a showdown between Santa and Goggins' character.
Right. Goggins is really, I mean, what a chameleon he's become.
He's so good in this. He's so
good. I'm trying to think. I know he was in stuff before we saw him in The Shield.
Yeah, The Shield really kind of showed his range. I mean, overall, I think the movie's it's a good movie. It's worth watching.
Yeah, as long as it's very violent.
Yeah.
Which, just saying that is kind of weird when you think of how we described the movie. But if you don't mind violence.
Yeah.
And
again, black comedy, that's kind of the whole point of the genre. And there's, the acting is good. I really liked Gibson and Marianne Jean-Baptiste, who plays his wife.
And we know her from...
I meant to look that up because absolutely we know her. I just couldn't place
because I thought she was from The Shield too, but I think I'm confusing her.
It's so funny you said that because like CCH Pounder.
Correct.
No, she just kind of resembles.
She's that kind of character.
Yeah, she looks a little like her.
But I actually liked it too. And what I liked is, and this was the directing part of it, was how they didn't really give away all of Santa's secrets. Like he's getting ready to go out. It's Christmas Eve, and he's on the phone with somebody from the government, like, well, or he's trying to make a deal with, to make up that money we're talking about. And he's like, hey, I'm busy, I got to go. And then his wife says, here, do you want to go over the list? And he goes, no, just give me the list. He has the list of who's naughty and nice. And she gives him the list. He goes out the door. And then there's a really kind of odd cut right there, because we don't see anything. We don't see him go on his runs. We don't see him go down any kind of a chimney.
Yeah,
they cut.
You see him returning.
Yeah, they cut. And I didn't quite get that at first. I had to rewind it and say, did I miss something? because what happens, it goes right from him going out the door where he's got some booze hidden, and she catches the booze and gives him some hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing you know, he's back. And I just thought that was a good idea, not to, it's got us thinking, well, geez, because we do see the reindeer at one point. He makes reference to, the reindeer, but we don't see his sleigh. We don't, they keep all that stuff under wraps.
Yeah, he's got a red pickup truck.
Yeah, we don't see him flying through the air, whatever.
Question I had is because Walton Goggins, one thing that you have to point out is I don't want to say that much detail, but he clearly had an issue with Santa since he was a little kid, because he never really got what he was clearly asking for. He wrote him letters and he didn't. So, that kind of fueled his rage towards the Fat Man. But the question I was sort of left with was, why did he wait so long to track Santa down then? Like, that seems a little bit odd.
I think we find out that he's obsessed with Santa because he's buying things.
Right, but why wouldn't he have gone on a quest all these years to track him down if he was that pissed off?
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a weak.
Yeah, it's a good question. There's a lot of plot holes like that we can point out. I mean, there's all sorts of things like that throughout where you say, well, whatever. And when they finally meet, he pulls out like a toy car and says, remember this? This is what I got. I wrote you. I left you notes. And, we don't get the backstory to that whole thing either. There's a lot of backstory we just don't get.
And that's a pretty, it's very well acted. Like, it's a very dramatic scene between him and Gibson.
Yeah.
And Gibson says, there are limits to what I can do.
Right. Right. And he says that to the kid
line.
Too. And he kind of says that to the kid too.
Maybe in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's limits to what I can do. What does that mean exactly?
I wanted the movie. Well, I think just it means he's not some,
you got to follow the rules. If you're naughty.
Yeah, no, but he's basically saying there are limits to what I can do as Santa Claus. Like, it's not, because Goggins was clearly asking for something very specific and again, without saying it, but anyways, that was one issue I had with it. Was just like, why did he wait so long to track him down? There was another nice moment where, as you pointed out earlier, Gibson as the Fat Man his spirits are down. He's not really, he's kind of in the dumps, and his wife, Ruth, just sort of, he's over in his barn or something feeding the reindeer or something. And she sneaks over and leaves some file folders nearby that he discovers, and he starts going through them. And it's these photographs of these kids,
now adults,
and they have clearly been inspired by a gift that they got as a child. Like, one was a fire truck, and now the girl is grown up and she's a woman and she's a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of I thought that was neat. And it lifted his spirits back up.
Right. And there was humor in the fact that, he knows everybody, like he'd encounter somebody and it'd say, how you doing, Dave? What
right.
do we, I don't know.
Knows everything about you. Yeah.
Yeah. And he starts saying things about his family, and he knows his background, and he's kind of like, why don't you be nice and, do the right thing here.
Right.
But I thought that was clever. I thought there was a lot of clever things like that.
I did too. What I would say is I would, say, yes, watch this film. I just wish it ended 10 minutes sooner. That's what I wish.
I think some people might complain it should be 10 minutes longer to fill in some details, but I don't know.
I think the tone they established was evident throughout, and they should have just stuck with that.
Yeah.
and concluded
given
it
the fact that it was only about 90 minutes,
Mhm.
I didn't get the feeling it was
I didn't need that ending chunk. That again, we won't give away the ending, but I didn't
right.
need that very ending piece. I could have done without that, and I think I would have liked it just a little bit more.
So you think it should have ended,
10 minutes
at the
sooner.
barn?
Yeah,
That's interesting. I don't
yeah,
know. I think he needed to resolve a couple of things there
yeah.
with
I
that
think.
little kid.
See, to me, that's too typical. That's too typical.
Yeah, and given the fact that they were going for unusual and
Right.
odd,
That's what I mean.
but you
That
would have
was
been
established
left,
right up front.
you would have really been left hanging about, what's next.
Fill it in. Fill it
Yeah,
in.
but I think, you needed to know a little more. I think I would have felt a little frustrated if it ended there.
No,
I would
I
have been
would.
like,
I
what?
wouldn't have. No,
Yeah.
I think that was perfect.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'll think about that, but I
Like do that
honestly,
as a deleted, alternative ending or something. That's what they should have done. Yeah, leave it on the 4K release that you're going to pick up, I'm sure.
yeah, and I want to ask you a couple of questions, but I
Yeah.
can't
Right.
without giving away some
No.
of the story, which I don't want to. Yeah, so how much did you pay for this, or did you go through Apple? Did you?
It's $15 through Apple TV, and you can rent it for half that price.
And I wouldn't buy it. I would say that up front.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
I'd rent it,
I think I agree.
$7.
It's not one I'm gonna pull out every
No,
holiday season.
no, this isn't It's a Wonderful Life.
No, definitely not. It's more like Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, and it is funny because it could have fit under horror.
Yeah, it could have.
It really could have,
Could
because
have.
it's kind of like, kind of
It
people have
went,
that fear.
I mean, it went to.
It went
It
dark.
kept like upping the ante. I was like,
Yes.
okay, like whoa.
And which is why I think the ending you're proposing would have been too dark.
Yeah, but
That's where I think that's where I have an uncomfortable feeling with that.
well, we all know that you're Captain Holiday Cheer.
Hey, honey, I'll be right there.
Yeah, the crescent rolls can wait.
I'll be there. Just hold them off.
So yeah, a good rental.
Yeah, I would say rent it.
I don't know unless you're very
If you like dark humor,
right,
dark comedy,
then you're probably going to want to lay down the $15 and own this one.
it's good for you. But
if that's your genre,
if you're going in expecting like a feel-good holiday movie, I think you can tell that from the trailer if you watch the trailer. But it's even darker than the trailer portrays.
Much darker. I saw that David Gordon Green and oh God, Halloween. The David Gordon Green and Danny McBride. They're
Danny
executive
McBride.
Producers on this.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, maybe that's.
But it's not under Blumhouse. Interesting.
No, I know. It could have been.
It would fit. Yeah, it would fit.
Yeah, it'd be a good Blumhouse production.
And it has that uniqueness to it, and you got Mel Gibson. You've got a pretty good cast.
It's a really good cast. The three main stars are really, really
I
good.
Like the dynamic between him and his wife.
Yeah, nicely directed. It's a solid film.
They've been together for a while. They know each other.
It's just so different.
Yeah,
it's like, whoa. It's funny because remember you didn't remember, but I had shared the trailer with you probably a couple of months ago.
Yes.
Said, hey, maybe when we get to this is what we can do. And we had as usual, we had a different film we were going to do.
Right.
And then yesterday, like, hey, I watched Fatman.
I just happened to watch it last night.
I'll get it too, and then we can talk about it. So
that's the thing. I happened to, I was looking for something new, and I popped it on.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you thought it was interesting enough for you to shell out a little bit of Kern.
Well, that's what I thought, and then I wasn't even sure I was going to mention it to you because we were going down another road, which maybe that'll become a blog. I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
This
I
is a
like that idea.
holiday film,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a holiday. It's about Santa, for crying out loud. So I thought, well, this kind of fits where we're at right now. So that's why I kind of mentioned it to you. And that's when you said, oh, I told you about that. And I vaguely remember you did, but I probably just, you tell me, we tell each other a lot of films
I think,
all the time.
well, I think I think we know now Santa is you know, a war veteran. He's definitely got some skills.
Yeah, Santa's got
with,
some
with some,
skills.
Pistols and revolvers and
And
whatnot.
Goggins has definitely got some skills. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Oh my God.
There's one sequence where he's like, at the firing range.
Yeah, doing some training, right?
And that's when
that
this
was
is
like a
pretty.
John Wick scene, is what that
It
was.
was. It really was.
Yeah.
It's like John Wick gets dissed by Santa Claus,
Mm-hmm.
and here's the shenanigans.
Well, we, wish we could say a little bit more about it, but honestly, it would spoil it. So,
Yeah.
you got the premise of the movie. We're recommending it at least a solid rental. And again, if this is your genre, then I think it's worth having in your collection for sure.
Yeah, this for me, I'd recommend it because it's clever.
Mm-hmm.
It's unlike anything I've seen.
I said that out loud as I was watching. I said, I've not seen a movie like this before.
Yeah,
it's so different.
So it's so different, but it's a mild recommendation because I think that some people are going to be really turned off by it.
Yeah. Again, folks, it's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the dark.
Emphasis on violence as well.
Speaking of dark, I know you got to get back to the giblets and the crescent rolls, and I've got a slice of gumdrop sugar pie I got to delve into.
Yeah. It looks like you're going to be having your turkey roll right there.
Right here. Yeah.
Hope people saw Planes, Trains, and Automobiles by now.
God, it's great. Gobble gobble.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's one you should buy.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're gonna try to maybe do some live streams too. So keep an eye on our YouTube channel. If you want to check us out, you can go to our website, ohbpodcast.com. OHB is in brotherpodcast.com. You'll get access to all of our social media, our YouTube channel where you can subscribe and like our videos there, and also the blog that we've been putting out. We got one out right now that you can check out too, that just came out on a proposed solution to
to go into the movies.
To go into the movies. We kicked off the blogs with the current state of going to the movies. How do we get back to going to the movies? So check that out too if you haven't read that yet. Well, that'll do it for another episode of the Oh Brother Podcast. I've been your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith, and we will see you next time.
Ho, 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 everyone.